Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and in today's video, we're going to continue our players prediction series, and we're going to start off with our first bench player of the series, talking about Alex Caruso. We're also going to look over the top 5 OKC small forwards in OKC history, which I think the small forwards is the strongest position overall, so this will be a fun one to talk about. We'll also talk about Netflix's starting 5 featuring Shea coming out and when that will release. And then at the end, we'll do our normal week in review for our Friday show. But just kind of starting off with our players' prediction. If you haven't been able to keep up, we're just going through each and every rotational player, kind of talking about what to expect from that player in this upcoming season and kind of just everything about them for the upcoming season. We've done the entire starting 5 for the Thunder, and now we're going to start off with the bench today with Alex Caruso. And we've been pretty positive so far about the starting 5 and all who we've gone through so far. And I don't want it to be a negative thing by any means, because I still think Alex Caruso will be a big part of what we want to do over the next couple years. But I think having the standard of Caruso doing what he did last year and how impactful he was overall is something that we should obviously still be ready for and expect it, but don't have such high expectations that he's not a younger guy who's just going to continue to get better. He is the oldest guy on the team, so there might be a tiny bit of decline. He's in his 30s now, so you're not always sure what you're going to get later on. Once you get into your 30s, it could be hit or miss. But for Caruso, the big thing is just continuing to play at an all defensive level, and that's really all you can ask for from Caruso. If he's going out there and playing some of the best defense you see, getting steals right and left, setting up guys, and at least consistently hitting around a 38% to 40% clip of threes, you're going to take that from a guy like Caruso. So you don't want to look at Caruso and his counting stats and his averages, and that's what you want to base off what he's going to do this upcoming season. Caruso's a role player for a reason, a defensive first guy, and he's going to do all the little things that will continue to add up for the Thunder overall this season. I'm not sure if we're going to see the same amount of impact this season as we did this past season. I mean, we saw him completely clamp up, for the most part, the best player in the world in Jokic. Once we switched him on to Jokic in Game 7, that really changed the trajectory of that game and really helped us move on in that series. And just beyond that, being able to go out there and guard guys like a Tyrese Halliburton and Anthony Edwards and guys like that, who are some of the best players in the world and at a guard position. Caruso can guard those type of guys. So for Caruso, I still think he's going to be a very good role player for us, but I wouldn't have the expectation of him having as an impactful season and big moments as he did this past season for this upcoming season overall. But now we'll kind of transition into talking about the top 5 small forwards in OKC history. And to me, this is OKC's strongest position, just 1 through 5. I think all these players have been really good compared to what we are going to see in the rest of the list and what we saw with the point guard and shooting guard position. At number 5 is Carmelo Anthony. Melo wasn't here for very long and really wasn't able to do much. We really thought we were going to have something with Russ, Paul George, and Melo when they came over, but Melo just never able to put it together as a third option, and that kind of ended his short run as an OKC Thunder. At number 4 is Aaron Wiggins already, so kind of a controversial thing, putting Aaron Wiggins over Carmelo Anthony, but I think just the way he's been able to win over fans and the way he's been able to save basketball is incredible. And his speech when the Thunder were getting ready to do their championship parade, bringing up all the past legends of OKC, is really a testament to what he can become. And we really think he can be a guy who can be a 6th man of the year for the Thunder this year and one of the most impactful role players, if not one of the best role players in the entire league. At number 3 is Jalen Williams, and this is kind of when it can kind of get scratchy on who you prefer, if you prefer the championship aspect of what he brought to the team over some other counting stats. But for J-Dub at 3, you have Paul George at 2, and obviously Kevin Durant at 1. So to you guys, is it Do you prefer Paul George over J-Dub, or do you think J-Dub has hot Paul George to the number 2 slot? Because you have to consider Paul George in 2018 and 2019 was a legitimate MVP candidate. He finished third in the 2018-19 season behind Harden and Giannis. And he had a very real shot for most of the time to win it. He was the best player on the team that year. Westbrook even kind of took a dip back from what he did just 2 seasons ago when he was averaging a triple-double. And Paul George really took over that offense, and he was looking like a MVP, no doubt. And obviously, J-Dub hasn't hit that height, but J-Dub was able to put up amazing stats on a championship team, a second option on a championship team. So it's kind of whatever you guys prefer. And I still think at this point, Kevin Durant is still the best small forward in OKC history. I think J-Dub's got to play he's got to play out his contract, and we'll see what happens then. I think obviously he will get to that point where he's the best small forward ever. But I think at this point, Kevin Durant's still 1, and the questionable thing is whether you would have J-Dub at 2 or Paul George at 2, or maybe you even switch Melo and Aaron Wiggins, kind of messing around with that top 5. But now we'll kind of talk about how Netflix's starting 5 is coming up. If you do not know what that is, there's only been 1 season, and it's where they follow around a specific 5 players around the whole season, do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff just to get to know more about the players. And for this Netflix's starting 5, you see 3 out of the 5 being OKC Thunder players or former players. Obviously, Shea's on there like we're going to talk about. You have Kevin Durant and James Harden as well. You also have Tyrese Halliburton, which is going to be a very interesting thing, especially with how the finals went, his run, and how it ended with the Achilles. Just being able to see the behind-the-scenes stuff of that is going to be really amazing to see just on that side of things. And then the last one is Jaylen Brown out east, which I think this is by far is going to be a much a much better season compared to last. I think all 5 of these guys are going to be very interesting to see behind the scenes, especially the Kevin Durant, James Harden side of things, older guys who are just trying to stay in the league. You have Tyrese and Shea who faced off in the finals. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of stuff surrounding that. And then you have Jaylen Brown out east, who the Celtics were going for in the East and just kind of fell apart once Tatum, so you will be able to hear that side of things as well. But this should be a really, really good starting 5 season. It will come out on October 16th, so just under a week before the season gets going. So that'll kind of, when that goes out, that can kind of get you in the basketball mood leading up to October 21st when the Thunder have the ring ceremony and its opening night. But overall, that should be a great Netflix season. I can't wait to see all of the behind-the-scenes stuff, especially with Shea and really Tyrese Halliburton. I want to see what we're able to find out, if there was anything that we weren't totally sure about with the Tyrese injury in the finals that maybe we will know now once this Netflix documentary comes out. But we'll kind of wrap up this huge week of Thunder news, kind of since it's our Friday. We'll kind of look back. And just so you know, yesterday, ticket sales for single game tickets went on sale for OKC Thunder. If you want to go and look at a specific game in the first half, this is first half only, that have gone on sale for home games. If there's a specific game you want to go to, you can go look at tickets now for that. And we're getting to that point in the offseason where we're starting to get towards the training camp. We saw that J-Dub no longer has his wrist brace, which is a major good-looking sign for the Thunder coming into this season. But things are starting to get to that point where we're starting to get that basketball feel in, and we're about to get things rolling once again. But that'll be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.